Oh my god, dude, my shirt is so wrinkled. What did I do differently this time? Does anyone have any workarounds for this? Any life hacks? Alright, let's talk about the E621 innuendo debacle that's been going on Twitter for the past week, which I would argue has been over and done with for the past week, but it's led to a trend that I've witnessed in the past few months or so that has me a little concerned with how people are interacting or talking to one another on social media. And for the case of this video, it has to do with an E621 joke. You know the funny number 621? You see it somewhere and then you have a little sticky note, you write the letter E on it, you put it next to it, and you make a post about it on social media, and it's like the haha funny joke. You have the people that think it's relatively funny, seeing a number out and about, 621, and it's like, oh, it's the funny haha furry sex number. So what's going on this week in the furry fandom? Well, it's more of a last week issue, but it's still somewhat being talked about today. And by the time I upload this, it'll be entirely irrelevant. People will be like, Beta, why are you covering this now? Do you really suck at what you do? And the answer is yes. I very much do. I'm not punctual in the slightest, but I do still want to talk about this because it's not just the fact that this happened in the sense where people were so livid and so vocally negative about an innuendo, an E621 joke, which at the end of the day is so tame beyond belief. And quite frankly, if anyone else was in that situation, they would 100% post the same thing too. It's just so funny and ironic more than anything else. And on top of that, the responses of like, oh, get it guys, it's a sex joke, or like furries only have one joke. That is also ironic because that's the same thing people say in response to anything like that, yet nothing changes. There's no new joke or new humor within the community, as if it's the most glaring issue with furries, I guess. Look, man, I'm employed, I'm interested in a guy, I have friends that I hang out with on the weekends outside of this room, so like maybe my priorities are a little misguided and I'm not seeing the full picture or issue here. But there is no issue here. It's just an innuendo, a sex joke. Now, what's the reason for people being up in arms about sex jokes or innuendos, specifically in the fandom? Well, it has to do with a post that was made last weekend in which someone posted about how they had the 621 room number for their hotel room at a convention that they were attending. The caption reads, "Room sign done," and shows a picture of their 621 room number, which very nice. I would probably do the same thing if I were you. I'd be like, oh, I got the 621 room number. In and of itself, it's kind of like hitting the lottery in the sense of like, oh, we can make a cute little joke. That's it. It's just a one and done. It's not like the one personality of like, get it guys, I have the 621 room. Haha, guys, like no one's repeating it as if it's like the big one joke that people have. I can guarantee you that they posted this probably off to the side and it's like, oh, it's just a funny little thing. And then they went on with the rest of their con or whatever they were doing. So the post got a lot of traction. I originally saw it when the individual posted it and thought it was pretty neat. Thought it was clever that they had the piece of paper with the band-aid above it. That was really good. I was also really wondering how they got to hang their fursuit up there because I would love to have some sort of ventilation like that for my fursuit body. However, I got to see the post a couple more times after that with people quote retweeting it, with comments along the lines of, furries have one joke, or the most frequent one yet, haha guys, get it? The joke is sex. It's a porn joke. And that's kind of just what you'll see with the quote retweets. I feel like as well, probably the worst feature to have added was the quote retweet function. It has made people so bold about being so mean and quite literally one-upping one another. At least in the sense of quote retweets here, people are one-upping it. So apparently the problem from what people have stated on social media is that E621 jokes are bland, boring, overdone, and need to, I guess, go away, which no. Which in the sense of the person having that hotel room, if any of the other people, I can guarantee even half the people dunking on the innuendo or E621 joke, if any of them had that room themselves, they absolutely would capitalize on it and make a post about it as well. I would argue as well that the post they'd make would probably be less funny than the one that they're originally dunking on, because that little note with the band-aid on it is what sells it for me. Now, a lot of people were leaving their thoughts and comments on it. A good chunk of people were posting the Logan Paul picture because of the fursuit in the back.
I think there's someone hanging right there.
Which that was interesting. But a lot of folks had things to say about the furry fandom being overly sex joke abundant, or furries only having one joke, and that being about NSFW stuff. And some people who are expressing awareness about how whenever someone makes a joke like this, it brings out the annoying people who are saying that the furry fandom is filled with sex jokes and making the same comments that annoy us beyond belief. I really hate it when furries make these jokes, and it's not because porn jokes are overdone. is because now my timeline will be infested with violently annoying people acting like porn jokes are the worst thing to happen to the internet. You know what? I agree with that one. That's probably one of my favorite quote retweets of the bunch. At least this was the most popular post or repost quote retweet from the bunch, so that's good that there's some self-awareness there. You know, the kids are all right in that sense. And I agree. I don't necessarily even hate the joke. I think the joke is fine and people should be able to make the joke if they want to. What I feel like is very undeserving is how psychotic some people are with making someone feel bad about making this joke. Especially, you know, furries doing it to other furries. It's like, to some extent, I view people doing that, of like the quote retweet of like saying, oh, it's all sex jokes, oh, furries only have one joke, and just dunking on a very tame post at that. I see it as like people who do it as like a measuring contest of a holier than thou, like I'm a better furry than this person. Like, dude, you're in the same fucking community. I can guarantee that you have an AD where you fantasize about every goddamn day. Get in line like the rest of us. I'm at the point now where whenever a post of mine hits 1,000 likes on Twitter, I mute it immediately because I know it's going to attract the people who have nothing but negative things to say about something. Because I know that as soon as it hits that amount, it's going to attract all the negative Nancys that I just do not want to hear from and are not my target audience for what I'm posting about. I can't help but think of this post where someone is just making a fun, cutesy little joke and then they get harassed and bashed for it. And it's not even deserving of it. Not that it's ever really deserving. I don't know, man. This is just really sad to see. It's sad to see the state of social media and how some furries have become, or at least I guess maybe the new gen furries are. I know there's probably a whole like social study or like analysis that probably needs to come into play for the state of furry social media, or at least the furry side of it, which really is no different than the regular side of it. I say furry as if it's different, but there should be something special about like the camaraderie of being a furry, about like the sense of community. And it feels like with posts like these, or at least the reaction that some people have had with it, that there's a lack of that in people who genuinely think they're better than the rest of other furries. It's really weird and sad and scummy to see. But either way, E621 jokes are fine. I don't think that's a hot take. That is... What am I doing with my life, man? This is what people are arguing about and angry about. It's such a non-issue, and that is mainly like the concern to me, is like the constant need to dunk on this. Why is this a trend? Yeah, it's a stupid sex joke, but there's nothing wrong with it. And honestly, showing negative attention to it and trying to dunk on it, trying to punch down, says a lot more about you than it does the person who made the post. If you really feel the need to instigate or negatively post about a bottom of the barrel joke, what does that say about what you post in your humor? See what I mean? It's just, it feels like such a lack of self-reflection, critical thinking, and just humanity with interacting with others. I don't want to say that an E621 joke broke me from interacting on Twitter, but I feel like it has more and more. Not just this, but a lot of other instances of people being vile. And I know I probably have to do a fully fledged video on that in and of itself to back up my points, because this is just one case of an E621 joke, but I'm sure those who do use furry Twitter as well have seen it, have seen people being vile and mean-spirited for no reason. Only you can make the difference in how you interact with others, and that's what I wanted to do with covering this topic in this video. I wanted to bring awareness to hopefully break the cycle, because this is a cycle. Someone makes a lewd NSFW joke. The annoying people come in and start quote retweeting, replying, saying furries only have one joke, it's about sex, and then someone gets hurt by it, or we repeat the process and go on to whatever next new thing to complain about. It's a cycle, and all we can do is try to break it through being self-aware about it. And that's why I wanted to cover this today. I'm not really sure where I want to take things in terms of video topics, and quite frankly, all the furry drama that's been on social media has been really nothing burgers and not really worth arguing. It all kind of stems from these bigger issues that no one is really wanting to talk about, that I might actually talk about in a future video. Maybe I'll do some furry Wheel of Drama discussion. I did one on pup hoods and people seem to really like that, so maybe I could do one on other stuff. Granted, I'm not really sure where to start. There's probably like feral art, and then baby furs, and then NSFW stuff at conventions. Apparently a new one was added on the furry Wheel of Drama of like ripped furries with abs. I guess apparently that's dramatic. I don't know, man. Some of y'all need a deeper hobby. But either way, that's about gonna do it for me. Have a wonderful night, take care, stay life jacket, treat people like people, and that's about it for me, guys. Take care.